What a stellar Wednesday. What a stellar Wednesday. Well, we don't even have the other camera up. It's fine. Nothing's going well today. Nothing. We're going to make today's quick. I don't have anything good to say. Nothing good to say at all. I didn't even want to do this today. But we'll hop into it. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. This is episode number 112 of Addressing the Issues. What is the issue today? Well, we are a conquered nation. It's as simple as that. When you have the president, the U.S. military, for the first time ever, nevertheless, and a foreign lobby all siding on one thing, you've got a problem. You've got a damn problem. And that's what we face here in America. We have a foreign influence problem. It's not Qatar. It's not the UAE. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's Israel. It's Israel. You've got the most money ever put into a primary election ever, most of which was put in by foreign lobbies. And then you have the president of what you assume to be your nation siding with said foreign lobby. You have your military, for the first time ever, taking a side in a primary election, taking a side in any election for that matter. And it is on the side of millions of foreign dollars. You have a problem. We're just a colony. We're just a colony of Israel at this point. It's a damn shame. Over $30 million pumped into a primary election, most of which is from a foreign nation. And you think you're sovereign? You think you're a sovereign country? You're not. I mean, you have the military picking a candidate in a primary election, a nonpartisan election, because one of the candidates stood up against the Epstein class. You have a problem. I mean, even more so, you have President Trump talking about his approval rating in damn Israel. Are you kidding me? I don't care what your approval rating is in any other nation. What is it here in the U.S.? Well, it's sub 50. Meaning if we were to hold an election for your position today, you probably wouldn't win. You probably couldn't even beat Kamala today. And we're supposed to accept this as the American people? I'd say no. I'd say no. We'll get into what I think the recourse of action should be here in a few minutes. It's going to be a short one today. Today's just sucked on so many fronts beyond understanding that we are a conquered nation. I don't even have everything I needed up. But yeah, President Trump comes out after this and he says, I have a 99% approval rating in Israel. Less than a 50% approval rating here. Who are you serving? It's no longer Americans. You're serving a foreign nation. The same one that propped you up in your election, that's propping up other candidates in primary elections. That's who you're serving. You're serving a foreign nation. Back when this was a civilized nation, this would have resulted in a revolution. We would have went to war against who is colonizing our country. Yet, we won't. There's no way we would. Because you'll get called mean names. President Trump is talking about how after he's done with president here, he might go run for prime minister for Israel. I know he's joking, probably, but I think that's a better position for him. He should take his ass there where his loyalty lies, along with everybody else, and go hang out there. Go hang out in the onslaught of Iranian missiles. I don't care. Hezbollah missiles, I don't care. Houthis, I don't give a shit. Go hang out there. Because actual Americans don't want you here. We don't want people that serve a foreign nation working in our government. And I don't think that's too much to ask. Obviously it is, with now probably, if I'm not mistaken, 100% of our representatives are taking money from foreign nations. Thomas Massie was one of the last that didn't. Or now, it's probably 100%. Not to mention the president, who's taking the same damn money. It's shameful. It's shameful that we don't cherish our sovereignty anymore, that we would rather serve a different master. We would rather serve a nation halfway across the world than our own constituents as public servants of the American people. That our military would take the side of foreign money as opposed to the side of the people who staff our military. It's shameful. I wonder what the war fighters, as Pete Hegseth calls them, feels about his use of Pentagon dollars to go campaign against their best interests. I wonder how they feel. Are you the leader of the war fighters, or whatever that stupid crap you called yourself was? Are you? Are you led around by a collar by Israel? Answer that question, because one is a lot more apparent than the other. Like I said, I have nothing good to say today. You have literally the AIPAC lobby making a post about yesterday's election. Ed Gallrain's victory in Kentucky and Clay Fuller's win in Georgia ensures two outspoken pro-Israel voices are positioned to fill seats previously held by outspoken detractors, Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're calling our representatives detractors? The ones that represent the American people. Detractors from what? Detractors from Israel? Continues, our community was proud to help pro-Israel candidates win these races. And the mainstream media wants to talk about, oh, this is Donald Trump's party. You've got, what's his face, Randy Fine, the absolute loser, who should be imprisoned in Florida for his crimes, talking about this is Donald Trump's Republican Party. The rest of us just get the privilege of living in it. Both of you should be held for treason. How about that? Nevertheless, that you voted for others on Capitol Hill here in Florida against the law, yet will never face punishment because of where his money comes from. Because if you call out somebody that's breaking the law that is pro-Israel, you are guilty of anti-Semitism. That's the world we live in here. Law and order only matters for a certain few. But if you are a protected class, you will never see law and order upon your crimes. You can rest assured. And it's not just him, it's a litany of other people. A whole bunch of fraud cases. Few sexual child abuse cases. People get pardoned. They get to go where their loyalty lies, which is Israel afterwards. And that's happened countless times in the last 2 Trump presidencies. I mean, we are a conquered nation. It's as simple as that. When you side with foreign dollars over the people of your own constituents, you are a traitor, and you should be treated as such. Yet they're promoted the positions of power. The military, the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth. First time ever in the history of the Pentagon goes on the campaign trail. It's not for a toss-up in a actual election. It's for a primary to serve his own interests in his holy war, as he calls it, in the Middle East. The one person that was left in Congress that would call him out over his proclaimed holy war gets campaigned against by him himself in an unprecedented first time in United States history. And you have the president and his staff who went on an all-out blitz, a staff which is captured by Howard Lutnick, an Epstein associate. And they go out on their all-out blitz against a constitutional conservative. And then the leader of the cabinet comes out the next day and brags that he's polling at 99% in Israel and that he may run for prime minister there. Why don't you step down as president of the United States and go do it then? I'd care less at this point. I mean, this was a monumental loss for American sovereignty last night. And I think we'll see the repercussions of it into the future. You've got article from Politico. It says, bipartisan Senate duo unveils sweeping anti-Semitism bill. Be ready for a lot more of these. The measure would require the Department of Education to designate an anti-Semitism coordinator and lay out new regulations to combat anti-Semitism at colleges that receive Department of Education funding, including requiring those colleges to establish non-discrimination policies and grievance process. Don't get me started on grievances. Everything's a grievance. It would also boost nonprofit security grant funding to $1 billion that can be used by Jewish communities. What about the Christian ones? As well as create a new grant that can be used for places of worship. Does that extend in the Christians? Probably not. The bill would, in addition, require new disclosures about how online platforms moderate and respond to anti-Semitic content. So, expect to see a lot more of these now. $1 billion for Jewish communities. Censor speech critical of Israel and Zionist organizations. Censor students critical of Israel and Zionist organizations. Remove them from college as well, because that's obviously necessary if you think freely in the United States. And then censor online speech critical of Israel and Zionist organizations, because the freedom of speech isn't so free anymore. Expect to see a lot more of that. That's what we're going to get as a result of all this, and that was the whole goal. That was the whole damn goal. Because Israel doesn't like our freedoms. They don't. They want us to be goyim, the cattle to be herded, slaves. We are slaves to them. And the only people that, you can take this as your clear pill moment. The only people that weren't on board were actually people under 50. Meaning it's the old people that are easily propagandized. Hopefully they all, take dirt naps soon as, their age mounts and health problems occur. That's our only hope at this point as a nation. We'll need to get out a new round of mRNA vaccines, and maybe we can achieve that. Who is it, Cuomo in New York City? Maybe he should run the country for a little bit. Make the population a little bit younger. Maybe that's a good idea. The Epstein class won yesterday. And the president's celebrating it probably because he's in the files. The military celebrating it because all Pete Hegseth cares about is the Greater Israel Project, not his war fighters, as was claimed before. The whole damn establishment's a bunch of sellouts, and we're supposed to, say, oh, it's good. It's good that they're selling our country away and incurring debt for a foreign nation, because that's the right thing to do. The next generation in the U.S. doesn't matter if the next generation in Israel is prosperous. Fuck them. Who cares? There was Israel or no Israel, it would have no difference on your life. Truly, it wouldn't. It wouldn't matter. I think it would probably be easier to go see Jerusalem if it was a Muslim country. You wouldn't get spit on. It's hard to spit through a damn burqa. I wouldn't see nuns getting assaulted every other week trying to walk through the holy city. So I don't see a problem with it. In fact, the problem I do see is who's controlling it right now. Let's look at a little bit of the facts of this election, other than the record high mail-in ballots and the high age at which people were voting. Majority of voters were above that 50-year threshold, with the younger voters siding en masse with Thomas Massie. But let's look at, some of this election history here. I don't know that there is fraud, but my goodness, it doesn't look right. We'll start off, with 2018. He took office in 2012. We have data back to 2018 on this. 2018, he is the incumbent, runs unopposed. 2020, he wins 81% of votes with a total vote count of roughly 85,000. You go to 2022, wins 75% of the votes with a total vote count of roughly 67,000. Go to 2024. These are all the primaries, by the way. He wins 76% of the vote count with roughly 53,000 total votes. You see a pattern with the total votes here. It's going down. We get to 2026, the year with record, not 2020, but 2026, the year with record mail-in ballots, and you receive 104,000 votes, in which Thomas Massie nets 47,000 votes, which is on par with, actually better than 2024, roughly his 2022 total, and a little bit less than his 2020 total. But you get record turnout from mail-in ballots, and he loses with 45% of 104,000. And you take into account that most of these voters are above 50. How many of them are actually living at this point? Entirely different damn question. But I don't know. It's hard to trust any election with these machines yet. That's one more thing that the administration won't get done, that the current Congress won't get done. And I don't think Ed is going to have a damn care about whether there's rampant voter fraud or not. I mean, maybe he can prove himself. I don't think he will, because I think the voter fraud benefits him, the way it looks. I mean, you see a declining pattern, and it shoots up double the amount of voters in one primary election. Flips the seat, record number of mail-in ballots. One of the counties didn't even turn any votes in last night. Which the hell is that? You're using a machine, just press the button to send them. But it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty on the side of the actual election tally. We won't see Trump getting mad about that, though. He'll still be yelling about Georgia in 2020. You'll never see anybody get mad about this tally because it helps Israel. It helps the foreign dollars. And that's all that matters in this country. It doesn't matter if it helps you, the American. It matters if it helps Israel. And that's where all our damn money goes anyways. Whether it be through aid or the banks. So, now that we've established that the president isn't on the side of Americans, that the military isn't on the side of Americans, that the foreign dollars are being used against Americans, that we don't have a sovereign nation, that we are essentially a colony of Israel, what is the correct response going forward by the citizens? Well, when you consider that most of the money being spent on these is through taxpayer dollars, the U.S. sends aid to Israel. The aid comes back in the form of funding political campaigns for people who are anti-American, it would seem that the correct response is to skip out on taxes next year. That would seem like a correct response. If you are the ones funding your own decline, why wouldn't you just stop? But I think you can take a step even sooner than that, in which you just don't vote. Do not participate in the process this November. I have one person who I'm going to vote for. Representatives, senators, I could give less of a shit. That's where I sit right now. I'll be voting only if James Fishback is on the ballot for Florida governor, and that will be the only vote this year. The only vote for me. I could give less of a shit about this Trump agenda that he failed to push the first 2 years, but for some reason I'm supposed to believe he's going to change his ways or change the way of Congress the next two. No, I don't believe it. You think getting rid of Thomas Massie is going to be the big change we need? I don't even think they're going to win. I mean, I don't think there's any possible road to victory in the House of Representatives right now. And hopefully the Democrats take over the Senate too. And I wouldn't even care if they had a supermajority. Truly. So I would say, start off this November and say you're done voting. Say the system doesn't represent you no matter what it does. And then from there, it's justifiable to not pay taxes, don't pay money into the system, which works against your interests as an American person. And then from there, we can see where we're sitting. But I'd cut the head off the snake. I wouldn't let Trump keep running with this just brain-dead agenda. Like, you think you're going to get mass deportations? They're closing Alligator Alcatraz. Newsflash. It's over. It's all over. You're not getting it. You're not going to get election integrity, so why would you even participate in the electoral process? Don't give them the illusion that you're still in on this, that we're all still playing this game. No, pull yourself from the game. Either don't vote or vote Democrat. Slow this just brain dead agenda down all the way to the ground. Vote Democrat or don't vote. Say we're not on board. And then if that doesn't help, or even if it does, what's it matter? Skip out on tax day next year. Say, my taxes don't even serve me as an American citizen anymore. Why the hell would I pay them? Last time, colonies here in America, which is what we are at this point. We've established we're a colony of Israel. We're paying taxes with this little representation. A revolution occurred. And that might be where we need to go next. I'm tired. My generation's tired. The generations younger than me are tired. Generation older than me is tired. We're all tired of this crap. Nothing to look forward to. And the best thing we have to look forward to is our free tokens on an AI platform where we act like it's our girlfriend. I mean, that's where all this points to. It's a state in which you will have nothing, you will own nothing, and you'll be subservient to the artificial intelligence overlords. You can't afford a home. Most people can't afford to raise a fucking child right now. So what's the best that's left to offer? Well, you know, we can lower the unemployment rate according to Ed Galrain by instituting a mandatory draft and sending everyone to fucking Iran. This is the solution that's been proposed to my generation. It's not, you know, maybe we'll cut back on taxes a little bit and see what we can do for you. No, it's you're going to go fight a war for Israel. That is the proposition. and you will have no choice. This is the proposition in which my generation has been given. And why the hell are we okay with it? Iran has no threat to me. I looked yesterday about the nuclear thing. There's nothing that I saw. So meaning no threat to us with a nuclear weapon. It couldn't even get here if they had one. So why the hell are we over there? Well, it's for the nation that leads our colony, Israel. It's the only reason we're over there. Nation that uses our taxpayer dollars to subvert our own elections. And we're okay with it. Don't participate in the elections. Don't participate in taxes. This is just so dumb. But what do I expect from Americans? They call us stupid Americans for a reason. It's because we'll sell our souls to Israel. That's about all I have for today. We've got our president and our military siding with a foreign nation who's pumping our own taxpayer dollars against our interest. The only solution is to pump the brakes on this current administration. Either vote Democrat or don't show up at all. And then if nothing happens beyond that point, don't pay taxes next year. Because you know exactly where they're going. They're going to Israel. And they're going to use those dollars to pump back into our elections so we can get more Ed Galrains, which will further serve their master more. We'll get more Trumps that serve Miriam Adelson and Miriam Adelson only. More concerned about his polling in Israel than he is in his own fucking nation. Like I said, I had nothing good to say today. I probably should have just skipped. When your president is bragging about his polling in another nation when his and his own nation is rock fucking bottom, you have an issue. You have a damn issue. And in a civilized society, it would result in a revolution. In this society, it'll result in probably us Goyim calling each other anti-Semitic, which is like retarded. But then what else are we? A lot of you guys are retarded. The U.S. as a whole. I don't know. Yeah, that's all we'll do for today. Make sure you guys are dropping a like, following, subscribing. I'm about ready to give up and go die for Israel at this point. It seems like a better course of action. Having fun today, aren't we? Lots of damn fun. Yeah, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, following. We'll get into the good news. We'll get into it. We're looking at John chapter 7 today. Verse 1. It says, "After this, Jesus went around in Galilee, purposely staying away from Judah because the Jews were waiting to take his life. But when the Jewish feast of Tabernacles was near, Jesus' brothers said to him, 'You ought to leave here and go to Judea, so that your disciples may see the miracles you do. No one wants to become a public figure, acts in secret. Since you are doing these things, show yourself to the world.' For even his own brothers did not believe in him. Therefore Jesus told them, 'The right time for me has not yet come. For you any time is right. The world cannot hate what it does as evil. You go to the feast. I am not yet going up to this feast, because for me the right time has not yet come. Having said this, he stayed in Galilee. However, his brothers had left for the feast. He went also, not publicly, but in secret. Now at the feast, the Jews were watching for him. Where is that man? Among the crowds there was widespread whispering about him. Some said he is a good man. Others replied, no, he deceives the people. But no one would say anything publicly about him for fear of the Jews. Not until halfway through the feast did Jesus go up to the temple courts and begin to teach. The Jews were amazed and asked, how did this man get such learning without having studied? Jesus answered, my teaching is not my own. It comes from him who sent me. If anyone chooses to do God's will, he will find out, whether my teaching comes from God or whether I speak on my own. He who speaks on his own does so to gain honor for himself. But he who works for the honor of the one who sent him is a man of truth. There is nothing false about him. Has not Moses given you the law? Yet not one of you keeps the law? Why are you trying to kill me? You are demon-possessed, the crowd answered. Who is trying to kill you? Jesus said to them, I did one miracle, and you are all astonished. Yet because Moses gave you circumcision, though actually it did not come from Moses, but from the patriarchs, you circumcise a child on the Sabbath. Now, if a child can be circumcised on the Sabbath so that the law of Moses may not be broken, why are you angry with me for healing the whole man on the Sabbath? Stop judging by mere appearances and make a right judgment. A tale as old as time. A tale as old as time. It's not the Christians that killed Jesus. It's like we can't learn. We don't learn. We refuse to learn from the Bible. We refuse. We read it. We don't listen. I mean, don't say anything publicly because of the fear of the Jews. That's where we are. That is the state of the world right now. And until then, until that changes, nothing will change. You can get scared because somebody calls you a mean word, which has no actual definition. You get called anti-Semitic. What's the definition? Well, that definition is, very fluid, and not even accurate to the word in which it's used. It's Semites, not Ashkenazis, but that's here nor there. People who won't follow the law. It's like we experience this every day. You don't have to follow the Foreign Agent Registration Act laws because, you're Jewish. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way it will forever be, it seems. I get called all names. Demon-possessed, anti-Semitic, whatever it is. It's a tale as old as time, isn't it? Stop judging by mere appearances and make the right judgment, Jesus said to the Jews. Make the right judgment. They never will. They will try and trick God. That's their whole idea. And that is religious Jews that believe in God still, the ones that don't worship Baal, the ones that don't worship Satan. Make the right judgment. It's really hard for some people. It's really hard. Why don't we just build up a third temple against God? Why don't we? Why don't we? Because God said, tear down the temple. I'm going to build it back this time because I'm smarter. I'm smarter than God. No, you're not. That's why you can't see that Jesus is the way to the Lord. It's because you think you're smarter. And you're not. You're just really good at tricking people. You practiced against God, now you practice against the Goyim. And the Goyim are very easily deceived. Probably because they won't read the Bible. Because they won't look into a historical account of how evil and twisted the people against the Goyim are. Read the Bible. The patterns have never changed. It's been 2,000 years now. Patterns, tactics never change. And yet, for some reason, Christians are so dumb as to believe that for some reason, magically, mystically, stuff's changed. It never has. It never will. Until they convert to Christianity, nothing's going to change. The best idea might be to force it upon them. It may be. It truly may be. I don't know. I don't know. There were some things that were told that happened in history that were so terrible. So terrible. It's like maybe the Inquisition wasn't the worst idea. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the crusade just wasn't a bad idea either. Maybe it should happen again. Maybe that's what our military should be used for. It's for another crusade as opposed to a holy war to benefit people who don't believe in Jesus. Who think he's burning in hell in excrement. Maybe those are the people we should be at war against. Just maybe. Maybe it should be a combination of the three. That's all we have for today. Make sure you guys are dropping a like, following, subscribing, sharing, I guess. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully one day we can save this country. Because as of right now, this country's doomed. We're a conquered nation. We're a colony of the people who hate Jesus, and we will be punished for it. And nobody seems to care. But that's the way all this is going. So, I hope everybody is enjoying their Wednesday in the 50 colonies of Israel. I hope it's going great. I'll be back on here, I don't even know when. Maybe tomorrow. I don't even know. Maybe Monday. Maybe this is the last one. I have no idea. But until then, I'll talk to you guys very, whenever. Who cares at this point? To all my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. like I said, that's all for, I don't even know how long. I might be back tomorrow. I might be back Monday. Actually, I won't even be back Monday. I've got stuff I've got to do on Memorial Day, so no idea when I'll be back. Fight for your country. We're about to lose this damn place. See you guys.